Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday the 9th of July comes to you from London, and we're seeing a recovery in energy markets this morning, so we'll take a look at that at the end of this session. But first of all, just looking at the overall position for stock markets, currencies and commodities, we're seeing a mixed picture, mostly stocks recovering after being hit yesterday. So the dollar continues to just edge higher. Bullish territory on the short and medium term chart. We're just waiting for that higher high. On the euro, we're sitting at 118. Again, just hitting some resistance on the cloud there. And the dollar is back above the 110 level on the yen, although we have seen a stronger yen, just showing that risk on trade. Sterling sitting at 137.78, and against the euro 116.40. Remember, this is my weekly, my daily and my 60-minute chart, long term, medium term and short term view of the market. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. If we're below, we're bearish. It's really that simple. So we see here that sterling is just weaker short term against the euro, but overall we're very static over the last few months. Bitcoin is sitting at $32,800, just teetering along this low 30s level, hopefully finding support there. If you're trading cryptocurrencies, watch for fall below 30,000. That's quite key. The S&P 500 index was down nearly 1% yesterday, but and the Nasdaq was hit as well, of course. But we are seeing the futures looking like a short recovery this morning. So up 0.2% on the Nasdaq E-mini and up 0.15% on the Nasdaq. The VIX volatility fairly static at 19. It is in short-term bullish territory though, and if we look at the FTSE future, we are up 0.5% this morning. The DAX in Germany up 0.75%, and the CAC Quarante, which was hit the worst in Europe yesterday, is actually up 0.8%. So we are seeing a slight recovery here in markets. Japanese yen is lower, down 0.5%. Stronger yen probably having an impact there on Japanese earnings. And looking at the Hang Seng, we're up 0.8%. Very heavily hit this week, and we can see that in the downtrend there. And the downside target to 6% lower, not quite yet met. So it'd be interesting to see if we go lower. The Chinese market, little change. The Sensex in India down 0.33%, and the Aussie market down 1%. So it was quite resilient this week, but just fairly static at the moment, holding the new high there on that weekly chart. We'll look at energy mix in a minute, but soft commodities, we've got corn up 0.75%. It continues to surge on the long-term chart, but just coming back this week on the shorter-term chart. Gold holding the $1,800 mark, so it's still holding the bullish trend on the short term. Silver not quite managing to get into that bullish territory. Platinum up 0.2%, and palladium, which fell 10% a few weeks ago, in a day, has recovered all that ground and still looking pretty good. Copper continues to rise, and that is one big trend that's going up. US 10-year yields have been hit lately, and we're seeing that we put in a bottom at 1.25%. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the low and that holds. So what we should be watching for now is the is a high, then a higher low, and then a higher high than that high that we make. So that's what we're looking for. But we are still long-term bullish, and we still do have this big target of 3.3% hanging over us. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude up this morning 0.5%, really still in the 70s, and that long-term trend holding. Sure, we've had short-term moves negative this week. This is the daily and the 60-minute chart, so the short-term is still below the cloud, but we are still seeing recovery. New target here on the 60-minute chart. This is the daily, 96.7834 on the 60-minute chart, and 76.10 not yet activated on the 1-minute. If you're trading crude, keep an eye on those targets. Looking at US nat gas sitting steady at 366. Again, the trend is still very much in place, even though we've had a bit of a fallback this week, and we've got targets to 398 activated. So don't be surprised to see US nat gas with a 4 in front of it. Coal fairly steady this morning. That trend really in train. Emissions has been the big story this week. Big fall away that we've seen. We've now got some new upside targets on the 1-minute chart. If you're trading emissions, you need to watch these 1-minute charts for the new targets coming in. So that's quite key. The long-term target's still in train. The UK future, again, up 4% potential on that target off the bottom. So that will be really key to watch. Gas really rebounding very strongly, up 7% this morning on MBP, and TTF much the same picture. So even though we've had strong pullback this week, it's looking very strong for a rebound. We're almost back into bullish territory on that short-term chart. And if we look at German power, up 1.75% this morning, so that's looking strong for a recovery as well. Target was given yesterday, met this morning. Watch the 1 minute charts on your OTC data. And if we look quickly at Nordic power, we're seeing here big moves this morning, up 3% on the cow, 4% on the quarterly, and looking strong. It's actually countered trend. This has had a good week versus the other energy mix. That's it for today. Until Monday, have a great weekend. Happy charting. See you then.